Hello and welcome to How's That. We are getting to the business end of the IPL 2020. With me today, as always, is Vijay Lokpally, my friend and colleague. Good morning to you, Vijay.
Yeah, good morning, Rajaram. Very good morning.
Tough game for Rajasthan Royals. They were expected to win it, but batting first, they were not able to make the most of the opportunity to put on a good score. They had a very good power play, but then Sunrisers Hyderabad came back strongly and won the match.
Yeah, tough game for Rajasthan Royals, no doubt. But I think Sunrisers found their heroes last night in these two young men, Manish Pandey and Vijay Shankar. And I'm very happy for Vijay Shankar. He's among the runs, and he must have silenced many critics, including me, with that performance.
No, Vijay, I've always believed that criticism is for a bad performance, and we always appreciate a good performance. We do not criticize a cricketer. We always criticize a performance. I would like to believe that as somebody, as people who have covered a lot of cricket, you and I have never got personal with cricketers, but we have looked at their performances. If it is a bad shot, we call it a bad shot. If somebody has bowled rubbish, we call it rubbish, and we leave it at that. It's not personal at all.
Oh, yes. And I know one thing for sure. They also know that who is a good critic, who's a bad critic, and who's attacking them personally, and who's evaluating their cricket on-field performance. So, I mean, there is no doubt about it that they are also very well informed.
But the solid century partnership that Manish Pandey and Vijay Shankar got for Sunrisers Hyderabad allowed the team to go to the fifth spot suddenly, even ahead of Kings XI Punjab. The table is getting exciting. To be honest, I did not expect Sunrisers Hyderabad to bounce back like this, but it was good to see two young Indian cricketers play the way they did and get their team to victory.
Yeah, it was very good to see Vijay Shankar and Manish Pandey get among the runs. There were some moments when people they must have caused anxiety in the dressing room, especially Vijay Shankar when he was not able to put the ball away. But then he was biding his time. He knew what he was doing. He was supporting Manish Pandey, who was batting so fluently. And then eventually Vijay got runs against Jofra Archer. So he was justified in his approach.
But I think they were very lucky that Steve Smith did not bowl Jofra Archer a third over. He bowled a magnificent spell with the new ball. He got rid of skipper David Warner and Johnny Bairstow, two dangerous batsmen. And then when people were expecting Steve Smith to give a third over to Jofra Archer, he held him back. Both Manish Pandey and Vijay Shankar would have been pleased to see the back of Jofra Archer at that point of time.
True. I mean, you have a very valid point, but then again, it's in hindsight. I read this morning. I saw some of the comments about Jofra Archer not being given the third over. But my argument is, how do we know for sure that he would have got the wicket? I mean, Manish Pandey and Vijay Shankar would have dealt with him differently. They wouldn't have. They would have seen his over off, which is what would have been a common sense approach to the job. So. Yeah, the majority view prevails. Archer should have been given the third over because he was firing. But my argument is there's no guarantee that he would have got a wicket.
Definitely, Vijay. There is no question that cricket does not come with any guarantee. But the way he was bowling, the rhythm he had built up from the very first ball, I think the very sight of David Warner really fired him on. And to see David Warner take strike would have motivated him to bowl the four best deliveries at the beginning of the inning. And the way he was bowling, watch what Andrew McDonald has to say this last night.
it's always going to be the position that's debated, isn't it? That clearly, that was a decision for the captain to make there, to hold him back, and one more wicket would have been nice, but also they may have just defended that over and taken one over out of Jofra, which we could have used through the middle and the back end. So unfortunately, we probably didn't have enough contributors with the ball to maintain the pressure throughout the sort of back end of the power play, and then they batted extremely well through the middle overs as well. I thought Manash and Vijay batted extremely well. So that partnership, anytime there's a partnership of two significant scores, you're less likely to lose the game. So I thought they played outstandingly well and absorbed that pressure from that early onslaught of Jofra.
It would have been great to watch him bowl against the two young Indian batsmen and for them to take him on at that point of time, maybe to see him off. Then again, the manner in which Manish Pandey batted, very positive, very aggressive at certain points of time, very clear about what he was going to do, did augur well for Sunrisers Hyderabad.
Oh yes, and Manish Pandey batted as I have known him to bat. Obviously, you also would have known him to bat. He was unruffled. The best thing is he has some very innovative strokes. If you see how he gets into position and he understands how to bisect the field, he is very good in reading the field positions and playing those shots against any bowler. Some of them were predetermined shots, and it was good to see him among the runs. Going back quickly, just one word about Jofra Archer. Maybe Smith must have thought that he'll push in a bowler who can get his 4 overs in and keep Archer 2 overs towards the end when he might be needed. So it was a temptation which Smith could not probably overcome. But fine. I mean, give credit to Manish Pandey and Vijay Shankar for that absolutely brilliant batting.
Sticking for just a bit longer with Manish Pandey, Vijay, at the end of the game, when he came on television and spoke, he said something very interesting. He said his mind was cluttered in the last few games and he was not able to make the best decision. He had a chat with VVS Lakshman, who's a mentor of the Sunrisers Hyderabad side, and was able to make the best decisions yesterday.
Are you surprised who brought about the change in Manish Pandey? It had to be Lakshman. I mean, it was very well for him to admit that his mind was definitely cluttered. He was not playing the shots he should have been playing. He was kind of holding himself back. But last night he assumed the responsibility. He knew Lakshman was watching, and he must have given certain instructions. The best thing was Vijay Shankar and Manish Pandey communicating on the pitch. That was very, very crucial. The chat they had with each other showed them the way.
The assurance with which Manish Pandey batted also gave Vijay Shankar the freedom to bat himself in. He's not scored a run. He's not been among runs for some time now. And it was good to see the partnership. And I think it's the only century partnership between two Indian batsmen in IPL history.
How?
For them to stitch together a partnership, the only century stand by Indian batsmen in more than 700 matches of IPL history, was great to watch. And they were unhurried, unflustered, and they knew that they had to play only Jofra Archer with care. And because the dew was setting in, the leg spinners of Rajasthan Royals were not as effective.
Plus, remember, these two can play spin very well. I mean, the main threat was Archer, which they were seeing him off. And then, of course, they attacked Archer also. But they are good against spin. But Rajaram, I must say, I was very impressed with the way Vijay Shankar responded to the questions put to him after the game. It's a very sound mind, very calm mind. I think it would be good if we listen to his views on the innings and the victory.
Manish was actually hitting the ball really well early on, and when I went in, I actually didn't bat that many balls in this IPL, till this inning. Before this innings, I had only batted 18 balls before this inning, so it was very important for me to have a feel of it. And then Archer was bowling quick, so it is very important for me to stay at the wicket, give him the confidence that we can take the game deep, and he was actually hitting the ball really well. So after a while, I think we had a interaction in the middle, and we wanted to take the game deep, and I opened up, and then we got few boundaries, so it made things easier for us. So overall, I think it was a good partnership, and I think we had good communication in between. it is very important for someone like me to play a bowler like Jofra Archer in this situation, because it gives me a lot of confidence. He was coming really hard at us, and if you see in the second and third over, I think I played most of the balls that he bowled. So it is very important for me to play without getting out, and score some run as well. So which was very important for me. So I think we really had a proper communication between, which helped us, and we were running really well between the wickets, which helped us to take the game deep.
It was good to watch Vijay Shankar express himself freely, not just on the pitch, but also at the press conference, Vijay. He makes a very valid point about Jofra Archer. But to my mind, the spell that he bowled to David Warner will stick in mind for some time. It is not going to go away in a hurry. And then the manner in which he got Johnny Bairstow out was also a treat to watch.
Yeah, I mean, quality bowlers, great bowlers, they're known to set up the batsman. They're known to look for weaknesses, and they're very quick I must say, very quick in detecting them. And here, Warner has been Archer's bunny, if I can say that. He has got him so many times. And last night again, it was a typical Archer spell where he got first the dangerous for Warner and set up Bairstow with a beautiful ball. I think I want to listen from you. You were describing that ball beautifully.
No, to begin with, Vijay, it was kind of brave of David Warner to take strike against Jofra Archer. Lesser batsmen may have preferred to be at the non-striker's end, but this is David Warner, and he wanted to get rid of the demon. But unfortunately for him, Jofra Archer was up to it, and he bowled 4 terrific deliveries to David Warner. He played and missed a couple of times, giggled away, thinking that the stress would go away, slashed the third delivery over the slip's head for 4 to third man, and then edged a catch to Ben Stokes. It was a magnificent catch in the end, but this spell of 4 deliveries is going to stick in mind. There have been some very good bowling performances in IPL, but Jofra Archer to David Warner will stick in mind. And the manner in which he got the ball to jag back after pitching and find the gap between bat and pad to send Johnny Bairstow to the hut was incredible bowling.
I think that is what fast bowling is about, and that is what quality bowling is about. I mean, even if it comes for a free file in a T20 game, we must enjoy it, because we have seen many such. These spells are normally seen in test matches where extended battle between the batsman and the bowler. But here, small battle but memorable.
Vijay, unfortunately for Rajasthan Royals, which we favored to win yesterday, did not have the bowling support for Jofra Archer. And then it was all over because Manish Pandey and Vijay Shankar countered the other bowlers very, very effectively.
Yes, I would give credit to the 2 batsmen. I mean, they may have Archer may have form support, may not have form support. Is definitely part of our discussion. But please understand that Manish Pandey and Vijay Shankar were in absolute control, and if you sit back and reflect, probably the best partnership of the tournament so far.
We have seen a few, but then, as you point out, even the partnership that Mayank Agarwal and KL Rahul get together, this has to be right up there as one of the best in the tournament so far. Not just because they got a century stand, but also because the manner in which they got it. I think they were in absolute control and on top of the bowling. And when Jofra Archer came back for his second spell, they knew what exactly to do to him. And it was a different ball game altogether. Vijay, one of the reasons why the match fizzled out as a contest was also because Rajasthan Royals did not put up a good score on the board. They had a good time in power play, scoring more than 45 runs. And then were not able to build on that and ended up with just 154, below par for that track, especially given the fact that dew was setting in.
Yeah, but my dear friend, if it was 180, the Sunrisers approach would have been different. Please try to understand that. Here, they knew the target was this, so they must have planned accordingly. Otherwise, if say it was they were chasing 180, 190, Vijay Shankar would have come and attacked right away. He wouldn't have taken time to settle down and give support to Manish Pandey. Manish Pandey would have played far more aggressively. there would have been changes in the batting order. Maybe Holder would have come up. So it is fine. It was a good contest, but it was taken away by Vijay Shankar's intelligent approach.
The point I was making, Vijay, was about how Rajasthan Royals batsmen let go of an opportunity to put up a better score on the board than just 154. Not one of them went past 36. Sanju Samson made 36. Nearly every batsman got a start, but was not able to kick on to a big score. And when this happens, it is going to hurt the team.
Yeah, I concede. I mean, you definitely have a valid point, but there will be. See, this is what cricket is about. You know, if everything works in your favor, you would be always winning. You wouldn't be ever losing. So, yes, the batsmen got two good starts. They should have carried on, and maybe they would have fallen 20-30 runs short. But my philosophy is that if you may say 30 runs short, and still if they win it, you may then again say another 20 runs short. So there is no end to it.
Of course, there is no end to such debates, Vijay, but you have to give credit to the Sunrisers Hyderabad bowlers. After a bit of a pasting at the start of the innings with Ben Stokes and Sanju Samson scoring at a fast clip, they came back pretty strongly. To see Jason Holder finish with 3 wickets in the end. But Rashid Khan and Vijay Shankar also contributed in stifling the Rajasthan Royals batsmen.
Yes, Vijay Shankar again played a big role there. Rashid Khan is proving to be, I think he may end up as the best bowler of the tournament. He's been consistent. He's been commanding respect in every game, leaving his mark. And look at Holder. I mean, he comes back and gets into a game after a long time, and he takes to it as if he has been playing right through the tournament.
Vijay, it's about time that we bring in North Tan Gang Mumbai, our partners in crime, so to say. The kind of questions that they ask us are fascinating. And here is Jitesh Jetwa speaking about Rajasthan Royals and putting us in a spot.
Considering the on-paper team which Rajasthan Royals have, but still their performance is not up to the par. So what do you think is the major factor regarding this? Is this the captaincy which Smith is pursuing, or is it the batting order which needs to be checked and reshuffled properly to make the team proceed ahead?
Thank you, Gitesh, for your very well thought question. I think Rajasthan Royals has a very simple thing to do: win remaining 3 matches, and expect someone like Ben Stokes to explode. Because he is the kind of player who can take away the match from the opponent on his individual strength. But Rajaraman, do you think it's going to be an easy job? I mean, winning all the remaining 3 matches for Rajasthan Royals?
There has to be some out-of-the-box thinking, Vijay. No question about it. Steve Smith perhaps has to go back at the top of the order. Ben Stokes has not contributed as much as he can. And perhaps they can use him as a finisher now rather than as an opening batsman. And see if it brings about any change in fortune for them. They have got 3 tough games. They have got Mumbai Indians to begin with. And then they have got 2 competitors, Kings XI Punjab and Kolkata Knight Riders, 2 competitors for that 4th slot. It's not going to be an easy job, and they're going to rue this loss to Sunrisers Hyderabad.
Yes, you are absolutely right. Intense race for the playoffs. Let us enjoy whatever the Rajasthan Royals will do in their remaining matches.
Vijay, it might be right if we watch what Andrew McDonald has to say last night.
Yeah, sure.
Well, the challenge is pretty clear. It's win 3 in a row, and then see where our net run rate's at. I'm still thinking that the potential of 7 wins will get you through. Generally speaking, most years that happens. 8 obviously secures you that qualification. We have no option for 8. We've only got an option for 7. So it's about us continuing to prepare, continuing to believe that we are good enough, and we've shown throughout this tournament that we've played the cricket that can compete with the best, and not only compete with the best but win games. And I'll be encouraging the guys to really let the shackles off and forge ahead for these last 3 games. And you never know, and that's the attitude. And I think teams that have nothing to lose can be quite dangerous at the back end of the tournament. So we'll be looking to be one of those teams, and I'm sure there's a few logging up for that sort of 4th spot as well. I think everyone potentially is still alive. CSK, whilst they're on the bottom, are still a mathematical chance of making it. So it's going to be an intriguing back end of the IPL, and we want to be a part of that finals business. So we'll be doing our damnedest to get there.
And even though Sunrisers Hyderabad is right now in the 5th spot and challenging other teams for that 4th place in the playoff, it is going to be a tough road ahead for them because they've got 4 of the best teams in the tournament lined up against them in the coming matches. Not going to be an easy job, but the manner in which Sunrisers Hyderabad played yesterday may inspire confidence in the dressing room, as David Warner pointed out at the post-match interview.
Yes, yes, yes. Please don't rule out, because they have the firepower, and if they realize their potential, I'm sure it's going to be a very, very exciting week ahead.
I think they would have stumbled on to Jason Holder as a quality bowler and lending international quality to the attack. They sorely miss Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, and Jason Holder's coming may have just added that little bit of zing to the Hyderabad attack. Even though Natarajan seems to have lost some of his firepower, has conceded a few runs, Hyderabad should expect everybody to play at 100% to try and sneak into the playoff. We move on to tonight's game. It is Chennai Super Kings against Mumbai Indians. Chennai Super Kings back to the wall. Mumbai Indians comfortably placed. Rohit Sharma and his team will want to win this match and then be in a very comfortable position to make it to the playoffs. Everyone knows that Delhi, Mumbai, and Bangalore are perhaps the best place at this point of time, but they will want to secure a confirmation now.
Yes, at the most, I think Chennai can look to spoil Mumbai's party by salvaging some respect, some reputation after all the flack they have been getting from the fans and the media and critics. But you can't rule out Mumbai Indians. They are on a song. They have a very good combination. So it's going to be tough for CSK to stop Mumbai Indians.
Chennai Super Kings, of course, through Ravindra Jadeja, have promised that they will fight on. They have got an outside chance of making it to the playoff. And if they are fired by belief and can perform really well, they can surprise Mumbai Indians. They have got the ability to do that. But it does look like Mumbai Indians will come through tonight and secure a victory.
Yeah, why not? I mean, CSK is probably the most consistent team of the IPL history, and you can't rule them out. And I only hope that we get to see a close contest.
With that hope, Vijay, I will take leave of you for today, and we'll be back with you tomorrow. Have a lovely day.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's been a lovely discussion.
Thank you so much, Vijay.